Okay, so I know for a fact that this isn't old news, but this has come to my attention for a couple of weeks now. I think almost a month. Jesus, this is quite interesting. I think there's a lot of people in the gaming industry right here that still defends loot boxes, and I'm obviously talking about EA and the, how should they call it, surprise mechanics. Yes, the surprise mechanics. So basically, this type of situation that us gamers are getting into today's kind of dilemma. Because of right now, I don't think EA just get it. I think EA still needs to at least have some common sense. And it's just not just EA. There's a lot of more games that have loot boxes and these surprise mechanics. It's the new name, surprise mechanics. I'm just going to read this a little bit here. I'm not going to read everything, of course. I'm going to go ahead and link this so you can read it all if you want to. So right here, I'm going to jump all of that. I see here, one committee member asked for James' thoughts on loot boxes, or as EA rather bizarrely called them, surprise mechanics. He added, saying that since the publisher spoke to the committee 2 weeks ago, he and his colleagues have received correspondence from several gamers claiming the monetization mechanic is a form of gambling. He also pointed to stricter rules in the Netherlands and Belgium that have seen loot boxes banned in those regions, and asked if the UK's regulatory bodies need to catch up and recognize that loot boxes are in fact gambling. James said there were a number of assumptions in his questions she didn't agree with, observing that Belgium and the Netherlands have different rules for all offline gambling that have influenced their approach to online. While she refrained from going into specific details, promising to follow up on the later, she stressed that a key difference is the UK's gambling laws largely revolve around whether something is a game of pure chance. The fact that other European countries have taken action, I think, is much more to do with them taking their offline gambling laws online. And our gambling laws are different, she said. Okay. There's there's ways to do stuff. This is why other countries are actually not allowing this in a video game. This is basically common sense. Let's just say common sense, because us, all human beings, do have it, but the fact is, not all human beings know how to use it because of money or other type of things that will be covered by it, greed, or anything in particular, that they just don't actually care about the fact that it's just not gambling. period. But it is. A lot of people will say like, well, gambling mostly is involved in money. Well, of course, it's involving money and actually taking advantage of people that don't have the actual impulse of controlling themselves and actually say no to those kinds of stuff. So these kinds of companies like EA, they're like, yeah, I know there's a lot of people buying these surprise mechanics, these loot boxes, right? Yeah, there's a reason why people do buy them a lot, and it's just that they don't get always what they want because since they're surprise mechanics, this is a random type of you buy a loot box and you get a random stuff, and if you don't get what you wanted, then you will be like, well, maybe I'm lucky next time, and then you just keep on buying, and then you're like, okay, maybe next time I'll be more lucky. But at the end of the day, you're actually giving them more money and you're not getting anything. You basically are in this type of situation where these kinds of loot boxes or whatever you want to call it, surprise mechanics, they're basically uh, controlling actual these kinds of human beings, such as gamers. Me as a gamer, I I'm a fault of one of those because not just loot boxes, but microtransactions and all that, and DLCs and downloadable content, and that is where I was actually thinking about how much have I spent on that game. I think I have talked and did a video before. I think it was with Dids. You'll probably know the game where I spent more than at least $200 or $300 in one game, and that is Dead or Alive, and that is because of the characters, the costumes, and whatnot. So these kinds of things, I do know what am I buying. It's not the same as you buying some random box and you get random stuff, and so on. Even the free games also have this mechanic, but those are free games. But those things, get very addictive, and that is where I want to go because a lot of people, like I said, do not have the full control of the situation, and these companies are taking advantage of it, like EA, like basically what we all don't want because us who actually control ourselves, we still buy stuff online. Let's let's not get that out of the way because we do. I am one of them. But for the loot boxes and getting random stuff, things that maybe you did not know if you want to get them or not because you wanted a specific thing, maybe not. Maybe you'll get it in the first one and then you don't buy anything else. But those things are very addictive, just like um, the lottery. You just keep on and keep on wasting money for more stuff that you want. And it is kind of dangerous these days because if we want to stop this kinds of stuff, we need exactly a control of ourselves, and it's very hard to just like, okay, I'm going to stop today. It's not gonna happen like the next day and or that same day. Those costumes and those guns and those I don't know, that it shows in the game that is like actually there. You were like, man, I really want that gun. Man, I really do want that costume. I don't know if I will get it, but it's so tempting that I just want it. I still have the money, and they have no self control on that. And I don't blame those people because we all have this other kinds of addictions. And EA or any other type of company taking advantage of these people, it's just, what are you doing? Like, you know that you will get money because of loot boxes and microtransactions and whatever the case may be. I do not like microtransactions or loot boxes. I think they're basically the same. Um, yeah, it's just, I cannot blame those people who, you know, that cannot actually control that. But you, EA, or you, company that are doing this kinds of stuff, like surprise mechanics and get random stuff because we know you're going to keep on buying stuff. That is very so unpleasant. And me as a gamer, that seeing those type of stuff on my, my favorite company, my favorite game, I totally despite when Dead or Alive was actually on PlayStation 4, maybe on consoles. You cannot buy the characters' clothing sold separately. You have to buy a whole pack or a season pass for it, unless if it's a DLC character which you can buy alone with their own costumes. But the rest of the cast of that game, you need to buy a whole season pack. There's gonna be one day that these companies might have to like accept what they're actually doing, because I know they just want more money, of course. But thinking back in the day, do you actually have to have these kinds of stuff to survive? And I know that the internet is something else, because back then the internet wasn't that much of a deal. And now that you work constantly in a game because of updates and whatnot, yeah, basically updating the game, such as bugs. Back in the day, if you release a game with bugs, those weren't unfixable at all. Let's just be real. They cannot fix them. You just still with the bugs and all that. But there's no excuse, EA. I mean, I've been rambling EA for the past 4 or 5 years already. Ever since they screwed up Need for Speed, or was it Mass Effect? I think that was the one. And man, I hope that new Star Wars game does not have those microtransactions or a loot boxes thing. Cause you know what I mean. I mean, you like Star Wars, but then this thing happened, just like Battlefront 2. And then you just see this and like, besides the pay to win, that's not the case here. It's like, why can't we get a full game? You're charging us $60 for a full game, and basically we just have to spend more money because of those kinds of stuff. It is very sad to just say that, well, I'm buying a $60 game plus tax, because in my country there is tax. There's like at least $64, 63, maybe 65. It all depends on the country. So for me, if I buy a full game $60 at a Walmart or wherever, or Best Buy, we don't have GameStop here anymore, thank God. But if you buy a full game physically, it's more than just $60. And of course, that money does not go to you guys, because the tax is for someone else. So, my case here is that we all know that the gaming industry is very, very expensive. And we basically, us gamers, we do know how expensive and the engines are and whatnot, and things that you guys do as a developer. We do respect your job. Something that I cannot do. I do respect that. But taking advantage of people that cannot control themselves is just, it's something that is a, how should I call it, monstrosity. let's just say that's almost satanic. Let's just say that's religiously like that. If you want gamers to win, for your games to win, because I always remember that the creator of Dead or Alive back in the day, he wanted his games to win. That's what he said in an interview. He wanted his games to win. And I was like, wow, because Dead or Alive had competition back then. That was Tekken, that was Virtua Fighter, Street Fighter. There were a lot of Mortal Kombat, um, and a lot more. Um, and he actually achieved that back in the days, of course. Back when he was actually doing Dead or Alive just exclusively for the Xbox original. Let's just take that. Uh, so he first started on Dreamcast, but that's another story. But he took that as, yes, I want the fans of the games to be satisfied of what I do. That is how you actually make your games to win. Not being greedy. Because we're not satisfied by any of your games, EA, at all. We're here waiting for one day for you to wake up and say, hey, no more microtransactions, no more loot boxes, we're just going to release a full game. Perfect example. Let's go ahead and God of War. Another perfect example. Days Gone. They're giving free updates and free other type of stuff for free. DLCs are the downloadable content is for free. If I'm not mistaken, I have not paid anything else for any other type of quest or anything. It's a full game, and that game is huge. Days Gone is a huge game, and of course it got bad reviews, average reviews, not bad, average reviews, and I'm freaking loving the game. But that's the difference of between a game that is a full games with no microtransactions, no downloadable content, no loot boxes, versus a games that has all of that. Look at the sales. Look at the sales, because I'm not making this up. Look at the sales for both consoles, Xbox and the PlayStation, and let's see if one EA, except for Battlefield, of course, is in the top 10 list on sales every month. If you want to speak with your money, with the money that you want, EA, look at that. Look who's on the top of the list. If you want your games to win, you have to please your community, your fans, the Need for Speed fans, those Star Wars fans, those Mass Effect fans, Anthem fans. It's as simple as that. As just stop being greedy. And I know is that greed is one of those deadly sins, because if you keep on doing this type of stuff, you'll be dead. As simple as that. People are going to stop looking out for your games, buying your games, and it's gonna get tired of you, because we're already getting tired of this whole generation has been bombshell to you guys, because you don't barely respect us. Look at that Battlefield 5 debacle last year. Was it last year? Yeah, maybe. If you don't want it, don't buy it. What the hell is that? You gotta think straight. And for those us gamers who cannot control these type of stuff, let's seek help, because those are the things that these continue on and continue on and continue on, and they will never stop. Because I know we're human beings and there's a lot of stuff that we cannot control, but we have to seek help. Seek help from a brother, psychology, anything else. Just listen to your things around you so you to stop making these kinds of mistakes. Family's always there, of course. But yeah, keep on gaming. But these kinds of loot boxes needs to go. Alright guys, I think this will be it. I think I'm long enough. Yeah. Alright. So I hope you like this video, guys. This is my new set. I'll be doing a tour soon. I just need to fix some stuff and buy some other stuff so I can give you a tour, because it's pretty cool here. I like my new house. And yeah. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for supporting the channel. This has been Zara Punky, and I'll see you guys later.